Good evening, guys, and welcome to Sabre Education Experience. My name's Dunk Richards, Sabre Education Manager, and today we've got the lady of the hour, Kerrie DiMattia from Dimattia Co in Grafton, and of course, finalist in 4 categories, the Australian Hair Industry Awards. Welcome, Kerrie.
Hey, Dunk, how you doing? Thank you for inviting me on.
Wonderful to have you on board here. We are, myself, your Sabre family are super excited, for, you and your team for what you've achieved here. We've got some great history we've had and we've worked through in the past, which has been fantastic, from classes and shows and fashion weeks and events and all sort of things. But really, this is your moment of the hour at the moment. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dunk. Feels still feels a little surreal. It's taking a few days to sink in, but yeah, very, very cool. So pleased.
I can imagine. So, Kez, 4 awards, and I'd like to really sort of kick off our interview and our time with you here at the moment, just to really go over those awards. You've been named in 4 categories. And an amazing achievement. Can I just go to bring them on screen so you can actually see there and everyone can see these 4 awards that you've been chosen for. So number 1, there's our State Salon Business of the Year Award for New South Wales and ACT, the Business Director / Owner of the Year Award, the Best Customer Care Award, and also the Best In-Salon Training. So, with that, 4 categories of finalists, not just one. When you come in, you really barnstorm it, don't you?
Yep, apparently so. Yeah, not at all expected, but yeah, it was mind blowing to get all 4. Yeah.
Because with that, how does it feel for you? You've been in the salon game for a while now, and to get, as I say, straight on the board with 4 awards.
Well, you've been really polite when you say for a while now, Dunk. So, yeah, I haven't been a business owner for 40 years, but I've been a hairdresser for 40 years. And this is, when most people are winding down, I'm winding up and just setting new goals. And yeah, it feels amazing. It feels amazing to have a go. It's something I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. And never quite had that confidence, never quite saw the salon as eligible. To be really honest, like if I'm going to be authentic about it, I just kind of thought, we do a good job for, we're here in Grafton and we're really proud of what we do, but comparative, I just kind of never saw the salon as being on that level enough to enter. And this year it's the game has changed for us. Yep. And we've implemented a fair few new things and lots of stuff has changed for us. And all of a sudden I kind of felt authentic enough to have a go. So we had our fingers crossed with the 4 categories and we sat there as a team, on the screen. I had all of our team at home on their various devices watching the announcements and as they were all coming up on the screen, and like my eyesight is for the screens is not wonderful. And I thought it'd be a verbal announcement. And of course, we're trying to read them as they come up, and they're cheering before I am because I can't read. And it's like, what is it? Does it say me? And it was just, there was all. So yeah, it was. I kept saying to them, the journey was the entering, because it was huge, absolutely huge. And hats off to anybody who actually does enter, because I had no idea what the process was, and have a whole new level of respect for anybody who actually enters any awards now, because they're massive. The evidence gathering is just huge, but really worthwhile, let me tell you right now. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
It kind of feels like a validation, Dunk. That's how I would describe it. It's a validation of not only 40 years of hairdressing, but just kicking it into gear the last couple and really stepping up as a salon and salon owner and a team.
Yeah, because and I find that really interesting. So we've known each other for a long time through the industry, and with that, you've always had an amazing business, an amazing team that you've created around you, and you've grown. So from there, you mentioned Grafton. Is it you felt that, or felt that, has that been something that you thought, hold on, has this held me back? Do I compete with other big inner city salons or those sort of things? Has that been, a challenge for you in the past to entering the awards?
Yeah, look, I guess it has, and I've now realised that was pretty silly. But like as you said, I've been involved in the industry for a long time, and I've worked alongside some really cool people in our industry from some really incredible salons, and it's not. I never sort of went, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm just from Grafton. It wasn't that at all, but it's just kind of like these big salons, the ratio of what they do feels so much bigger than what we do.
Yes.
And yet when it came down to it, it isn't that different. We're just doing what we do here. They're doing what they do there. So, if you're looking at our prices versus their prices, or their rent versus our rent, it's all relative. So, I never sort of felt like it held us back, but pardon me, it took me a little while to to realize that I could throw my hat into the ring, for want of a better word. Yeah.
And I'm really glad you brought that up. You spoke about that, because I see so many salons, whether they be regional, smaller towns, whichever, that do such an amazing job from a team point of view, creatively, as well as on their business, which I think, opens the door to them having the confidence to go, hey, I can enter this and I can be 100%. Successful in entering as well. So, and thanks for putting that out there, Kerrie. Yeah. So, Kez, tell us a little bit about your journey then. As we say, we've both been in the industry for a while now. We've seen you've worked with some amazing people in some amazing places throughout the years. Can you give us a little bit of your journey of, how you got to today?
Okay. Straight out of school, straight out of year 10, so 15. Finished on the Friday, started work on the Saturday.
Yes.
First part of my career, not so good. Excuse me. First part of my career, not so good. First 6 months, not so great. Shopping centre salon probably wasn't the best kick I could get to start the career. One of those salons with 2 staff rooms, seniors and juniors. It's a fair work nightmare. But from that point, I sort of didn't end up staying there, and thought that was kind of the end of it for me. That put a bad taste in my mouth. But about 6 months later, after doing some various retail jobs, I realized I really wanted to get back into it. So I did. And the very next employer after that was a beautiful man called Stan, and had a little suburban salon that him and his wife run, and vastly different to the big shopping centre salon. And he literally instilled in me the most incredible core values. Like, his wife was still using the little squeezy lacquer bottle, and it was super cool. It's like, I remember thinking back then perms were our biggest seller, but I look back now at the skills that they gave me, and that was incredible. And I wish I could get in touch with them now and say thank you, because those core values, that's what I build everything on. So, so from there, finished the apprenticeship, couple of jobs into the mix, got married, and then bought my first salon in Sydney at 23. So
right, okay, a big move then.
Yeah, so born and raised in Sydney. So I kind of forgot to say that I haven't been in Grafton all my life, but 25 years now. But born and raised in Sydney, and bought my first salon at 23 in Cogra. And just, excuse the French, but right royally frigged it up. I had it for about 7 years and made a complete mess of it. Shocking. Hair is something that I like to think without ego that I do really well. It's just my thing. I love hair, and I love doing hair. So I never had a problem with the doing of the hair. But when it came to the doing of the stock and the money and the hiring and the firing and all that, I just completely sucked at it. So I spent 7 years getting it wrong.
Right.
We didn't have a problem filling the books. It was just, what was happening behind the scenes. That was the problem. And that was that was a long haul for me. And it probably, I look back now and it taught me lots of lessons, but at the time I didn't realize it. But then, Lauren, my firstborn, she's 28 now. She was 3, and we moved to Grafton, and a whole new life began. And I didn't really kick into wanting more out of hairdressing probably until sort of later in my career. As raising kids, doing the things that mums do, and sort of had a little business going here in Grafton to start. We did lots of freelance, lots of wedding hair. So nothing that, like, most of the highlights of my career, I would say, happened from 40 plus onwards, right? Prior to that, I just, did what you do in the beginning of your career, and then you get married, and then you have kids, and then you do the treadmill thing and whatever. But I think the thing is that I always wanted what I wanted out of the career, but just didn't have that support from bosses and stuff, and didn't have the opportunities, right? And then it got to Grafton, and then I sort of opened a tiny little studio here because I couldn't not work with the public anymore. I got to that point where I felt really stale, just doing freelance stuff. And I thought, no, I've just got to, I had a little home salon for a little while there, and I just thought I just have to get out and, get more current. I felt like I was choking. So I did that, and I started with a 2-chair salon in Grafton that is now a, 12-chair plus colour table salon. So, we had the little space, and then, I was doing that, I should learn never say never, but, it's like, I don't want staff again. I don't want this again. I don't want that again. Rah, rah, rah. I just want me. So I had 2 little benches and a basin. And by the end of the first 6 months there, I had to hire a first year because I was so busy. Once again, hair was never the problem. Running the business was the problem. I just, it grew. So by the time I took that first year on, and then, she just blew out. For the last 17 years, we've just, there's been ups and downs. Sometimes we've gone down to 4 staff, and now we're back up at, 12 and soon to be 13 and 14, just taking on some newbies. So, but in the middle of all that, in the middle of all that, I've worked with you. I've been to Fashion Week. I've been to London. I've studied in an academy over there, which was amazing. I've worked at Hair Expo on centre stage, behind the scenes. God, what else have we done? Fashion Week was amazing. Fashion Week was probably, like, for me, mind-blowing. I absolutely loved it. And it was one of the game changers for me, because I guess working at Fashion Week with Joyco was the turning point for me when I realised I could still have what I wanted out of the industry at 18. I could still have, right? And that's, I kind of think that's one of the things that people, they think they've missed their mark, so they don't chase that mark again. And I have a little reminder on my arm in the form of a little tattoo that says it's never too late to be what you once might have been. So, what I used to go to, into coiffure meetings and go, oh my God, I just want to be like them. It was, 40 plus, and I stepped onto the stage for the first time in my own right, and, popped that little microphone on and felt like a rock star, and I loved it, and I was addicted, right? So, done some really cool stuff over the career, done some really cool stuff.
And Kez, I look at that and I find your story there that amazing, from you saying that, working with, was it Stan you mentioned, your first boss there? That he, and he basically, it seems, continued the inspiration that you had to be able to, do hairdressing, and gave you that drive. Doing your own business allowed you to learn some lessons, and I find it really, really inspiring now that, you're, finalist now for Australian Hair Industry Business Awards. That, that is the forte of what you're doing.
It's been an amazing journey, and I guess that, that little tattoo on my arm, it's, never say never. It's never too late, because it isn't too late. I'm 55 currently, and I did say at the beginning of my 55th year, this was going to be my year, and I was just going to hit it at full charge and have a go at everything that I had put off for a very long time. And and I did. Made many changes.
Make it happen.
I did. I even went to the gym.
There, sorry?
I even went to the gym.
There we go. You're driving yourself to be the best in every way you can.
Never too late.
Kez, as you mentioned, I mean, personally, we've done, trainings in LA and the US, and
Yeah.
amazing trips with Joico in Punta Cana and places like that, as well as,
So good.
everything we've done around Australia in
Yeah.
times. But from there, so, you're an amazing stylist in your own right in what you've done. Can you tell us from there, where you switched gears to really have that focusing your energies on the business, not just the creative side of hairdressing and the being on stage side and presenting those amazing hairdressing skills and thoughts and processes, but when you change gears to going, okay, hold on, I want to make more of the business side my focus here.
Yeah. I guess that kind of happened for me, hanging out with the people that I do, like Hair Expo. I feel like saying RIP, but Linda Woodhead's bringing it back in a different form. But Hair Expo, Hair Expo was like the teddy bear's picnic for me every year. We didn't miss it. We took a team to Hair Expo every year, right? And it's just living in a rural town, access to education before digital was non-existent. It cost us too much money. It was so hard. So Expo every year was just like the highlight of our year. We would never miss it. And when I went down there, and I'd go to these forums and I'd sit in on classes and I'd talk to people, and I could be kind of sitting at a table full of, real industry heavyweights. And they'd be talking about stuff. Like, one of my favorite people is Carl Keeley from Shumba in Melbourne. And Carl just rattles off figures and statistics and his metrics. Like, he's just this mad brain for metrics. And I just sit there and go,
I look like I'm understanding this.
And like, to be really honest, I felt like a real imposter because I was sitting with these guys who all seemingly had their shit together, and I know they all don't. They tell me they don't, right? It's smoke and mirrors, Instagram. Everybody's got their struggles, right? But at the time I was kind of like, what is wrong with me? Why don't I understand this shit? Why can't I get my head around KPIs and statistics? And my stock control was all over the place, no matter how often Eileen tried to help me. God love her. Eileen from Joy Coach was just amazing. It was like Greek, Dunk. It was like Greek to me. Money was like Greek to me. I know how to spend it, but I definitely did not know how to save it or to spend it wisely. So, I felt like a bit of an imposter. And I took myself off to Carl and Belinda Keeley's financial course in Melbourne, probably 5 years ago now, maybe 6. And Carl, God love him, he wrote me a letter of support for the entries for the AHIAs. And he basically said Kez was like a deer in the headlights in the first class. And he wasn't wrong. I had no idea. And like the Excel spreadsheets, I mean, bloody hell. I had to buy a Mac to go to the class, So it was just not, But from that perspective, that's what changed for me. It changed because I was kind of sick of not understanding. I was sick of I wasn't okay anymore with just working my tail off, making sure I had enough money in the bank at the end of the week to pay the kids and the bills. And I never went without a wage. So it's not like, I wasn't scraping the bottom of the barrel of it, but I was never getting ahead. And I guess there was a turning point one day where I just went, I don't want to be this person anymore where I'm pretending to know what I'm doing. I actually do want to know what I'm doing. So, I started with Carl and Belinda's course, which was fantastic, even though at the time I really didn't absorb a lot of it. Now I look back at it and I've still got all of my notes and I now get it. And then from Expo one year, I'd followed Julie Piantadozzi for a very long time. And I sat in one of her seminars one day and I just said, that's it. I'm taking the leap of faith because I just couldn't. I never thought I could justify the cost of having a business coach. I thought, what the hell? I can't spend that money. That's that's just never. It's like front of house, a receptionist. So many salon owners go, I can't afford a receptionist. They don't earn any money. Well, two things changed the year I decided to turn it all around. I started coaching with Julie Piantadozzi and I got front of house. right? And it
Excellent.
was, they were two expenses that I never thought I could justify.
Yeah.
And now they're the two expenses that I would not go without. Yeah.
You cannot do.
Made me, could never go backwards, Dunk. Like front of house, having someone liaise with your clients the minute they walk in, having someone as that face of your business, and it not being you, which is great. It's just irreplaceable. We have our front of house is a lady named Meg. She's our coordinator / manager. She's amazing. We call her Mama Meg. The clients go straight to her for anything. They walk straight past me like I don't exist. Straight to Meg. You know, Meg.
Nice to have that anonymity in the salon.
Happy. Sunglasses, hat. Meg deals, and they love her, and she does everything. And Meg is the person that is responsible for all our fantastic home deliveries. If you check us out on social media, Meg gets into a blow up dinosaur suit and does click and collect or click and drop off.
Wow, okay.
At the moment, which is pretty fun. So that's a whole other story. But yeah, sorry, I keep digressing. So much to say, so little time. I started coaching with Julie P, and it was a different language. The language that she used to teach me the metrics was different to the language that Carl used. When Julie taught me the metrics, I got it. And then now I use Carl's stuff as well, because I just needed to decipher the language. Now that I've got it.
You can combine those two then now.
Yeah, 100%. I needed someone to say it different. It's a little bit like trying to teach the kids in your salon. Not everybody learns the same way. And I love Carl's stuff now. I listen to their podcast all the time, but I get it. I used to, go, I don't know, but he's just like he's speaking another language. And it's such a sorry, go.
I was like, I want to get this, but I'm just not taking it in. I'm not understanding. So
and blind panic, sitting there in a room thinking, what is wrong with me? Like, why can I not get this? And that anxiety level when you're sitting there and everybody else in the room is getting it and you're not, and you're thinking like, it's just really like, we're always hardest on ourselves, but it's a really awful moment to sit there and going, I'm never going to get this. I might as well just give up. And then, I went the other way and went, you are going to get this, and kicked myself in the gear and just, no, absolutely not. And never too late to be once you wanted to be, right, Dunk? So so that was the turning point for me. And I've been coaching with Julie now, I think it's 3 years. She may correct me. I'm terrible with times. And it's just, I actually now feel like, first business at 23, self-employed from that time to now. I've not worked for anybody else in all that time. And as I said, I'm 55. I now actually would describe myself as a business owner. Whereas before I was a salon owner, and I was a hairdresser, but now I would actually describe myself as a business owner. And I say it with authenticity, because I actually, I'm kicking goals, and it's just insanely such a good feeling. So we entered this year for the first year. Yeah. I feel very proud, Dunk, to be really honest. It's a great feeling. And that's why we took the leap this year. I mean, having Meg on board is fantastic, because Meg's a person that's got some experience. She's a qualified hairdresser, and she's on the floor 2 days a week, but she's also got a lot of admin background. So having her on board to, wade through the evidence gathering to enter an award, I just was just up to here in paperwork going, there's a reason I drink. And she just kind of kept me on track. And, I actually felt like I use the word deserve, but it's probably not the right word that I want to say is, but for the first time ever, I actually thought we were in the running, right? I didn't expect to final, but I thought we had enough evidence to say, here we are, year one, we're going to have a go and grow from this point. So here we are.
With that in mind, you're obviously doing something right, with the finalists of the awards from here. What advice would you give to others, who are looking to focus on, business building?
You know, oh God, there's so many things that go into making a business successful. And, Tabitha Coffey's old adage in the book, it's not just about the hair. There's so many things that go into having a successful business. And it isn't just about turning out a good product, right? First of all, I would say get a coach, right? If you're not good at certain aspects, if there's problems, fix them, get a coach, reach out, ask someone that does something better than you do it to help you. And all of a sudden, you plug that hole, you fix that problem, and you can move on to the next one. My advice for salon owners these days is to stay current. You can't stand still. Otherwise, hairdressing is going to run right over the top of you. So you have to stay current. I have to know. I'm only on the floor 2 days a week these days, but I still have to know what's happening. I still have to know what's current.
What trends are.
Yep, 100%. Your customers are your hero, right? So one of the biggest career highlights for me is still being fully booked. So, to say that I'm fully booked and they book every 6 weeks and they're booked right up till Christmas, that's as big a highlight as going to LA with you and training with some of the best hairdressers in the world in LA. There's highlights on both sides of the fence, and to have a thriving business after all of these years and to employ fantastic staff that are like from 16 upwards and to be able to relate to them. Just stay fluid. Don't the old adage, like our parents used to say, that this is how we do it here, right? That kind of doesn't work anymore. And I think my final bit of advice for anybody that wants to get ahead is, in the industry, like you hear it all the time, people say it consistently, charge what you're worth, right? Charge what you're worth. Don't undercut yourself. Charge what you're worth. I want to flip that around for people and say to them, be worth what you charge, right? Because you can charge what you're worth, but if you don't deliver, so, at the beginning of an appointment, you sit down the consultation with someone and you promise all of this stuff. You got to check in with yourself at the end of that appointment and say, did we deliver? Right. So, you can build your reputation, mate, but you've actually got to follow through and honor what it is that, you tout
make sure.
You do, or, So
make sure you're adding up to your ticket price.
Worth what you
Absolutely. Because you saying each of those things, there's a little thing I actually wanted to bring back up because it's something I noticed on which is part of your tagline of your business. So I'll just quickly bring it back up here, and it's on the screen, and it says down here, our salon, your space. Something that stands out to me when I look at that. It's relevant to me, but what does that mean to you? What does that mean for your salon?
Okay, that was a tagline we came up with. It started for me. We did a bit of a refurb, and I was kind of looking for something a little bit different. And one of the highlights of my life is there's a coffee shop in Grafton that I absolutely love. It's called Heart and Soul, and it's one of those beautiful little boho places that you go in, and every table's different, and every little setting is different, and it's just kind of like higgledy-piggledy and crazy, and the vibe is so cool. And I can walk in there and almost, drop 10 kilos of tension because, I can choose, like, I can choose the little church pew table in the corner facing away from people, or I can choose the table of 10 and chat to people. I can choose one in the front window, and as everybody walks past, they're like, hey, how you doing? And it depends on, I sit where my mood takes me on that day. And I was sitting there one day and I kind of thought, how cool would this be in a salon that, our demographic's pretty diverse. We have predominantly working women, but then we've got some mums coming that just need some time out. So we designed the space to accommodate different areas. So it's all in one big zone, but one is a long bench that is perfect laptop height for a client, say, to continue working as the hair's processing, because everybody's time poor. And at the moment, the greatest value you can give someone is their time back. Not right now in lockdown, but anyway, normal times. Yeah, we have a colour table. So for people that just want to chill and watch their Netflix, they can process at the colour table with their earbuds in and have a cappuccino. They used to be able to read a magazine, but COVID stuffed that up for us. We have a bench space that is a huge table. It's like a long timber table, but there's one mirror and one chair on it, and the other half of the table, I can actually flick some salon photos in the comments later, is like a retail display. We have a really cool, like we have cow skulls and all sorts of really cool urban-y stuff in the salon. Check out the Instagram. But yeah, and we have a retail display. We have things like some beautiful leather handbags and bits and pieces that we also have for sale in the salon. And you can sit there and get your hair done and buy a handbag and a wallet at the same time. Tash would love it.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a little dangerous, that sounds to me, actually.
Yeah.
I love the concept of what you're saying there, though, as well.
Yeah.
I've often heard about, stories about the third place, and, you have home, you have work, and you have a place that you go that makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel at ease, whether it's on your own or you're sharing with people. And it sounds like you've created that perfect third place for people to go to in your salon there, whether it be, what part of the salon they go to or how they see that salon themselves. So I love that. And it actually ties into the next question I actually had for you was it was based on, you've now collected an amazingly, talented group of individuals within the salon at Dimattia Co. So within those, tell us about the dynamic. I think your environment that you've created is really part of that dynamic by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. It's a very cool vibe. The salons are very cool, relaxed. There's there's a lot of structure in the way we do things, but not a lot of structure in the way it's set out. So we have a really cool it's in a very old building. It's upstairs. So from downstairs level, you see one doorway, and it's not very inviting. You come up a set of carpeted stairs. It is not very inviting. The foyer is even worse. It's a shared space. But once you step inside our front door, we've got our own reception area, and beautiful retail displays. We have neon signs on the wall that says "This must be the place," or "When life gives you lemonade, add vodka." So it's a very cool. We have pink velvet chairs. We have long benches. We have cane chairs. It's not. It's not neat and tidy, put it anyway, like to look at. It's not all ducks in a row kind of thing. It's very eclectic and all over the place, which is cool because people kind of like that. And I think my team enjoys that. So one of Lucy, you've known Lucy for years. Lucy's been with me for years.
Yes.
Lucy,
hello,
absolutely. Yeah, she's probably going to be watching. So she loves. She's probably one of. No, we've got a new first year who's tinier than Lucy, but she's probably one of the tiniest people in our salon, and she loves the big table. Right. So she kind of you can see the trolley come out of the morning and Luce parks. This is mine. It's almost like she puts a tape around it.
Her territory there.
Mine. Yeah, loves that because she actually loves her clients to have that experience, and that's really important to Lucy, that her clients are getting that experience. So I kind of think the salon lends itself to not only to the vibe of each client where they want to sit, but there's kind of something in it for every one of the team members as well. As I said, we've got 16. We've just started a new school-based apprentice. She's 17, but my first year, I've got two first years, 16 and 17. I have a second year who's 19, I think. Gracie, please forgive me. I think she's 19. She was school-based to start with, so a little bit later on. And Ellie's just turned third year, and she's only 17. So she started really, really early with me. Sort of got out of school before she finished year 10. And then we have our seniors, and we've got 6 seniors, including myself. And one, we were onboarding before we got shut down. A new senior that's just come to us. She's not long been home from London, born and bred Armidale, but went to London for 3 years, and she's home now. So she's just joining our team. So you know, there's a fair few of us, and there's lots of diversity, and yeah, lots of personalities. I kind of think one of the best parts about our team is that there's an inclusivity within our team. So the salon runs, like, basically you build the team builds the business. So
Yeah.
I work really hard. I guess I treat my clients with a lot of respect, and try and give them the best journey I can. And to me, my team are my clients. So if I
Yes.
look after
Yep.
my clients, i.e. the team looks after their clients, therefore the business
That
builds.
flow on will happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So you
It's,
can't, you've got to
and
have that
since
culture.
you've got a bit of something in there for everybody's, creativeness, for everybody's
Yep.
individual feeling, and how they want to work in a work environment themselves, but it all comes together as a great team environment by the sounds of it, Kes. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. And we do lots of training, and every Friday, every second Friday we have TAFE come in. We're trialing a pilot program for our local TAFE, where the
Yes.
teacher comes in and teaches our young stars in salon. And then every Friday afternoon, we close early and the team get together, and we either have
Yep.
like a roundtable discussion, or we have some hands-on training, or try new products, or yeah, it's just we
It's
connect weekly. Yeah.
You're just sort of preempting me a little bit there. You've jumped the gun a little bit on me as well. I was saying,
Sorry.
Sabre Education Experience. We are an education forum here, and
Yeah.
that's it. I was wondering, with that, what's changed? How have things changed? Because one of the awards you won, of course, was Best in Salon Training. So with that, what's changed over the years as far as your training? And I'm hearing things like young stars. I'm hearing, community as well involved in it, using, TAFE and working with TAFE programs. What's
Yeah.
changed for you guys as far as how you see that happening in salon?
I think education as a whole has changed, like, incredibly. The whole landscape of education is different, Dunk, over the last 5 years. Let's just, ballpark it there.
Yeah.
I'm doing different things in the salon than what I used to do. I was, that boss that kind of held them back, held them back, held them back. They had to be perfect before I got on the floor, and your reputation is everything. And that was back in the days of the 4-year apprenticeship. Remember those ones?
Yes, certainly do.
Now it's a 3-year apprenticeship. You're limited time to get these kids ready, and also to get a return on your investment. So we have to keep
Yeah.
training up a notch, and we have a buddy system. So each senior staff member has a young star buddy that they sort of, they don't do all their training. If there's something specific that we have specialists in, well, then we move that training around. But yeah, they train weekly, every week,
Yeah.
without fail. Sort of, kind of, it's in work time, so they're paid
Yeah.
for their time. Therefore, they're happy to do it. They're fairly advanced for our TAFE teachers love them because they're switched on, and like they're on the job training all the time, but they're also hands-on training, delegated each week. And I, like, honestly, having TAFE in salon has made a huge difference to them too, because they're moving forward so much quicker than what, say, 5 years ago. Like, my own 2 kids, Izzy and
Yeah.
Loz, train both of them. The training I give the kids now is so much better planned, I would have to say. Sorry, Izzy and Loz missed out. Just I've got a better handle on it, Dunk, and it's really, really well
Yeah.
mapped out. One thing that we're super proud of for that award was when festival got cancelled, we were already booked to go, and we had
Yes.
an Airbnb that we were joining another fantastic salon, Bond Hair Religion, in Canberra. And my girlfriend Jenny Tarrington, we do lots of things together, so we sort of booked this Airbnb to fit both our teams in, which was huge.
Yeah.
And festival got cancelled, and we're like, oh, we've got flights, we've got enough. What are we going to do? So
Yes.
we decided that we weren't going to waste the opportunity. So we hired Bernadette Beswick to come on board,
Yeah.
and actually she came to the Airbnb and held a cutting class. Now, we didn't get to take our
Wow.
young stars at the time because we had to watch numbers, but we took our senior our senior team, and she did some like a full day's education, everything from cutting to customer service. Steve English popped in there and did a little bit of colour, which was such a brilliant experience for the guys to actually be like in a room with these guys, you know, sharing a coffee, eating a croissant, and being, you know, rubbing shoulders with some really, really cool people. And then the very next day we actually got to go to a salon, Kobe Bokshish's salon, and do a little bit of you know, what happens when you're doing putting a shoot together, you know, what happens behind the scenes for a collection. And that was epic. Like, we could have just gone, yeah, okay, put the flights on hold, we're not going, right? And it was, they were so in need of something done after so many things had been cancelled. And, you know, the world's a funny place right now, and they really needed they needed some motivation and some momentum. So we went ahead with it, and we're so pleased we did, because it just made such a big difference to the team.
And I think at this point in time, like you say, with everything that is happening in the world at the moment, you know, finding inspiration of how to do things and how to do things differently and how to change things around and go, okay, I'll find inspiration somewhere else now. It was amazing. And what an experience with amazing artists for those guys to share. And I'm sure your buddy system was about, they took it back to the salon and then shared it with all the salon again as well. So,
you know, again, their very first training.
It keeps on giving, and there's no way of learning like teaching. So, you know, I know they would have had an amazing experience in then being able to share that information themselves.
What is that old saying, Dunk? When one teaches, two learn. So
yes,
and I love it. And they did it. And they did they all bought it back. And on our first Friday afternoon training, each of them had a 30-minute time slot to demonstrate something out of what they learnt to the young stars. And Lucy, God love her, you know how she loves her avant-garde. She demonstrated the wig making and placing fringes on wig caps, and Chris did some face framing techniques that were beautiful. We brought everything back, and it was lots of fun.
Time to share. So with that in mind, you know, what are some of the non-negotiables in your training initiatives that you roll out in your salon? Are there, you know, key things that you've got going on in the salon? Say, look, hey, we want to be creative, we want to learn, but what are the non-negotiables we have to do here as well?
Yeah, I think that comes back to core, Dunk, and it's you know, you can't, like I was saying before, you want to charge what you're worth. You got to be worth what you charge, and some of the things that we can't be negotiable about is quality, and you know, and the kids knowing their stuff, right? So we're just about to start, like I said, our new senior, and her onboarding process will be 2 weeks to start with, but whatever it is that she needs, just shadowing our senior stylist to learn how we, you know, we do things. At the onboarding process is, you know, you can't just I don't like to just, you know, hire a new stylist and put a client in front of her and off you go. The way we do things at Dimattia Co is a little bit different, and that sort of training is something I'm non-negotiable on. You've you know, it's in danger of sounding like, you know, the oldies I talked about before. This is how we do it here, but we're really proud of the way we do it here. It's not if you don't like it, lump it. It's more about I want you to want what we want, right? And I want you to want to be want to do what we do with pride, because we think it's pretty cool.
And it sounds like more and more people are getting on board with that team just growing and growing and growing, that everyone's enjoying buying into that philosophy and that directive that you've got in the salon. Kerrie, you know, before we wrap things up here, I've got to ask you, number one, what excites you about the industry right now? What's, you know, really things that you're looking at that going, wow, I am just loving this. And, you know, what trends do you see that are grabbing you now at the moment? You know, let's say amazing stylist, and it could be a hair or a color trend, a styling, or it might be a business trend. You know, what else is grabbing you at the moment?
Well, I've got addicted to podcasts, so I just
you and me both.
I love them. I absolutely love them, and I think one of the best things about our industry at the moment is the the learning. Like, I drive 20 minutes to work in and out each day. So 20 minutes in, 20 minutes out. I've got that podcast on for 20 minutes, and each day's a different topic. And like, I'm so ready when I get to work because I'm so motivated by hearing all of these great stylists just talk about stuff in their industry, and really sort of unpack some stuff that that's going on in our industry, and you know, talk about it right down to the nitty gritty. And it's a really good thing. So I love the pivotal learning and the growth in our industry at the moment, because everybody's, because of COVID, just like this, all the companies are coming to you, and they're popping so much stuff online that there is, like, if you could not look me in the face right now and say, oh, I don't know how to do that, and I would have to call BS on that, because you know what, there's nothing you can't find, there's nothing you can't learn. There's that. No matter what age you are in the industry, you definitely, you know, if you're just starting out in the industry, obviously you need supported training. But mate, you can go on Instagram and find the latest technique and watch it over and over and over and over and over. And mate, that's insane. Like, God, back in the day, Dunk, you and I, it was TAFE. That was it.
It was. Yeah.
It was
so many opportunities. Are ways to learn there now.
Yeah, 100%. So that, I would have to say that's what's, when it comes to trends, you know, I love a good mullet and I love a good shag, and I hope that doesn't get taken the wrong way, but anyway, good mullet and a good shag and a good scotch. Yeah.
Well, guys, look, Kerrie, it's been great to spend some time with you here today, and, you know, share your insights on your journey that's taken you from, you know, Cogra and your salon, and starting out there with Stan and the salon, right through to, you know, moving to Grafton, opening up your space, and now growing to, you know, being an award-winning stylist, which an award-winning business person, I would now say. You've always been someone I see as an award-winning stylist, but great to have that other, you know, tag to your bow there and resin to your bow. You mentioned through the podcast, sorry, I'm talking podcast now, mentioned through the interview here, to check out your Instagram there, guys. It's been going across the bottom of the screen there. So at Dimattia, at Dimattia Co, jump on there and check it out from there. Also, you know, I'd like to, you know, say a little congratulations to you, and, you know, it's not a scotch, but, you know, cheers there, Kerrie, and congratulations to you and your team.
You know me too well.
Well, we'll celebrate from there sometime soon. Good luck in the finals from there. I'd just like to quickly share, guys, with our viewers here as well. We do have coming up on Monday, talking about that inspiration, as Kerrie just mentioned. We have the amazing Carolyn Gahan, who will be doing her reverse ombre technique on Monday, the 30th, and that will be at 1 p.m. Sydney time, 11 a.m. WA, 3 p.m. NZ time, guys. So, you know, jump on there and check that out. That's one of those formats that, you know, Kerrie was just talking about there, that we can all share and gain ideas with, and ask lots of questions while you're either doing it while you're watching, or just watching and learning from there. Kerrie, congratulations once again on the whole journey, but you and to the team at Dimattia Co on your achievements there. The Sabre family are very proud, and I know the whole industry is very proud seeing you where you're at right now. So congratulations. And
thanks so much.
See you soon.
Guys.
See you soon on the next podcast or video.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Bye.
Bye.